Guys, another day, another competition, and today we are talking about Skate America. Skate America had a lot of moments. It had heartbreaking moments, it had happy moments, it had surprise jump scare moments, like Eteri herself showing up for a skater. And honestly, when I saw her, I was like, what is she doing? Is she doing a tour of the Grand Prix? Is she just showing up places to see if she can snatch Ilia Malinin to the Russian side? Don't know why he would ever do that, but of all the theories, I never thought it was because she had gained another skater under another flag that is not the Russian flag. Let's start with the men, because this skater is a male skater called Nika Egadze, who showed up with Eteri herself. I was just as surprised as the internet by seeing Tutberita here at Skate America, and I just hope that she continues to collect only male skaters to do this kind of let me get in the middle of the international competitions, because for as much as the Russians want to say our national competition is better, we don't need you, we don't care that we're not invited, they care. And Tutberitsa, you can tell, really cares because she is collecting these boys like Pokemons to make sure that she is still in the mix of the international scene. And as much as I would like to call this man Maurici 2.0, Nika is actually a way better skater than Maurici, which explains a lot because she did not train Nika since a young age, unlike she did Maurici. And because they just started working together, you can tell because their body language is so awkward. The way he avoids to try to make eye contact, the way she seeks it. It says a lot about the power dynamic and the trust that we have here going on. But honestly, I'm just trying to see if this prophecy fulfills itself, because the prophecy says Eteri breaks boys. Is she gonna break this one even though he's fully grown and she just started training him? The world may never know. Actually, we might in a few weeks. But besides that, Nika actually had a good short program and his free was also not bad, but he popped a quad. However, he gets minus points from me because he decided to do Moulin Rouge. Eteri, how many times do I have to tell you? Stop giving out Moulin Rouge to your skaters. Tessa and Scott already did it for their Olympic performance, the most iconic performance of their careers. So anyone that does it right now is just beating a dead horse. We're gonna compare you, it's not gonna be good enough, and it's not gonna work. You're fighting against yourself. I don't care if you give it to your daughter, I don't care if you give it to Nika, it is doing a disservice to the skater. Stop doing Moulin Rouge. Like, this song honestly cannot be used for like a decade until the general public forgets about it and we no longer just relate it to the Prince and Princess of Canada, who by the way graced us with their presence on the internet because they were giving us interviews, they were giving us publicity. Why? Because they're being inducted into the Canadian Hall of Fame for sports. Why? Because they're iconic. They both still look amazing and I love it when mom and dad visit us. So treat for all of us. Back to Nika, his free was alright, but not enough of his jumps were great. The jumps just got progressively weaker the further we went into the program, and he gave it his all though, evidenced by the fact that his shirt literally popped open by the end of the program, which he quickly buttoned back up because he did not want to get a deduction for showing nipple like somebody else did at another competition. And once again, Eteri and him sitting next to each other kind of looked like an aunt and nephew that only talk during the holidays, strictly Christmas, because their body language is just so detached, so weird. And I honestly hope that this boy is getting the political cachet that I'm sure Eteri promised him. And I mean, he's on my radar, so I guess this is working for him. Let's see what this boy got to give. And I fear the day that Eteri gets herself an international girl, because oh my god, what are we gonna do then? What am I gonna do? If she gets a Georgian girl or an Estonian girl or some other flag, it's gonna be crazy. Then we're moving on to Kevin Aymoz, who had very literally the competition of his life. He had an amazing short program. His hair was herring, the costume was flowing, and all during what I believe to be the best performance of his short he has ever given us. He was on cloud 9 with immediate tears as soon as he ended, and so was I, because I feel, or it feels like Kevin Aymoz finally has entered an upswing in his career, a stability point, a plateau in terms of landing his jumps, and I like that. I like feeling secure. I like seeing him confident whenever he's out on the ice rather than a nervous wreck, whether he's going to throw his body in the air and land. And now I can safely say he has and he will, and it just looks like he's doing it. He's finally doing it. By the way, shout out to his beautiful coach, who is just as emotional as him and I love her reactions, and the judges agreed with me because they rewarded him with a great score, which made him first after the short. And then his free. We thought he couldn't do it again. I'm not gonna lie. Had no faith in this man. But it's like he heard my prayers for a clean skate of the bolero, and he freaking delivered it, only having a slight bubble on one of his jumps, but no falls, and an unbelievable stage presence as always. The crowd was with him. The judges were with him. I was screaming. His coach was screaming. He freaking did it. And dare I say, this is a big statement, guys. Dare I say that Kevin Aymoz has made me like Bolero. This program is perfect for him. The costume is perfect. He delivers it perfectly. The intrinsic choreography, the unique way he performs it, and he delivers it every time like it's his last, even when he's falling. But this time he didn't, but he always he hits every beat. He just commits to the bit, and I respect it. And if he delivers this program as perfect that he did this time, he's going to be on the podium every single time. He will be the one to beat for second place. But he still will be the one to beat if he continues like this. Also, shout out to the crowd, which is the first time in a very long time that I see a competition that actually has a crowd. Like a crowd of people who was invested, where the seats were filled, where they were emotionally connected to the skaters and the programs. It legit felt like a sports event. You know what I'm saying? Like they were engaged, they were emotional, they were cheering for everybody, the flags were waving. This was a great competition energy-wise. And they gave Kevin Aymoz a well-deserved standing ovation after his free. To me, he was the undisputable crowd favorite. And his coach, Sylvia Fontana's reaction brings me so much joy because that is exactly how I feel whenever Kevin Aymoz lands a jump. Like it's me and you, Sylvia. Like we're right there. We're right there emotionally. And yes, Kevin ended up in second place at this competition. But as always, whenever Ilia Malinin is at the competition, second place might as well be first place. That was the coveted spot and Kevin Aymoz got it. He got the most desired spot for every man at that competition and he should be proud of himself. And I really, really, really hope that we continue to see this energy because I love this energy. I want to stay in this energy. I want to live in this energy. Kevin Aymoz, I am manifesting it for you again. You made me like Bolero. Like the magic you have is insane. Then we have Denis Vasiljevs. I always forget his last name. The main thing, honestly, for me is that he finally cut his hair. No more horse ponytail. No more Viking long hair mess. He is giving us freshly cut hair. And actually, another fun thing about him is that I heard he got some sort of fine, I think, in the last competition for showing nipple. Because his V was Ving too much and his nipple flashed one of the judges. And as you know, figure skating is from the 1800s, so you can't show midriff, you can't show nipple. The rules are the rules. And to that I say, hashtag free the nipple for both men and women, but also respect the rules, so cover it up. However, the power might have been in his hair because he had a horrible short program plagued with falls and bobs and wiggles and jumps, and it was just a mess all over the place. And what made it all sadder is that he was skating to this horrible, depressing rendition of Hallelujah, and it just never gives. Whenever you're skating to like a sad song or any song that says I'm falling, you're doing it to yourself. I don't know what else to say. Whenever you fall, you only have yourself to blame if it feels extra horrible. And from what I saw of his free, which was hard to find on the internet, he was still struggling and popping jumps and having somehow an even deeper v-neck, even though I saw that he did add like a little lace in there so it didn't show some nip by mistake. But I have to give it to him. He always gives his best in terms of performance, in terms of stage presence. And so regardless of his actual technical content, he gave it his all at Skate America. And yet that gave him 9th place. So hopefully Stefan Lambiel can do his magic like he did with his other ex-chaotic child, Shoma Uno, who used to be very bad at being stable. So maybe Stefan Lambiel can do those same tools, or maybe Shoma can coach Dennis, and we can see what a stable Dennis looks like, because I don't think we've ever seen it. Not even a glimpse. Moving on, we have Shun Sato from Japan, who was wearing like an all-black sheer kind of lazy costume, which I really enjoyed. And he had a good short program to back it up, with only one jump wobble. And the amazing movement that he had in his arms was outstanding to me. I believe those are the best like tango arms I've ever seen in a while in figure skating. And then in his free, it started pretty scary. Like he had a full hand touch, and then 2 jumps later, he had an almost fall. But you could tell that he was doing everything in his power to keep calm and push on, because it's so easy when something goes wrong for the entire program to just unravel. We're going to see that later in the ladies. But Shun Sato composed himself, kept it together, and he made it work. He pushed on, he relied on his technique, which he knows he has, and he salvaged the rest of the program. And it also didn't hurt that he had an amazing costume for his free. And he ended up in 3rd place. So his technique freaking worked. And that's what I think you can do best when you're a figure skater and things are going wrong, is just try to pull yourself together and not let it get to you mentally, which is why I think mental strength is just just as important as physical strength. And while I do believe that Shun Sato's mistakes allowed for Kevin Aymoz to sit comfortably in second place with a clean skate, I do think that Kevin Aymoz deserved that second place. However, if Shun Sato had skated clean, it would have been a straight up toss up for the judges to choose which skater was going to be in second. Even though, in my opinion, Kevin not only has the better costume, but also has the better free program. And the audience was behind him. It was just Kevin's to take, and it fulfills the fantasy of Skate America. Alas, Shun Sato ended up in bronze, which is a great placement given the amount of mistakes that he had and the fact that this was not his best outing by far. So going away with bronze, I think, was a great reward for Shun Sato. Finally, we have the favorite to win, the undisputable best male skater in the USA right now, and arguably in the world technically. It is Ilia Malinin from the USA. First of all, we have to talk about the red costume. It has grown on me. I don't know if I like how bright it is, but it has grown on me. The thing I love most of it is the black gloves, though. Like, it's giving Zorro. It's even giving a little Puss in Boots. And I am digging it. Also, his jumps are just so... I don't understand how he flies through the air with every single jump. Like, I haven't seen this much height since Yuzuru Hanyu or like Midori Ito's triple axel. It's insane. And once again, Ilia Malinin gave it his all. He is giving it his heart. He is feeling these programs, these step sequences. He is delivering, and the crowd was eating it up. Even the commentator lost it during his crazy jump. Like, he has truly become a showman. And I literally was waiting for this day to come, and we are here. He has arrived. And once he becomes a refined showman, he will truly be unstoppable. He was unstoppable at this competition, but he will be literally unstoppable no matter where you put him once he becomes just a little bit more refined in his presentation. But he has definitely stepped into the role of showman, of crowd pleaser. He plays with the crowd, and I love seeing that happen. And to that, he got another standing ovation from the crowd. Then in his free, he did it again, given a clean performance, flying through the air with jumps, giving it 110% with every choreographic move, and ended it all with a second standing ovation. And dare I say that this performance here was, for Ilia Malinin, this entire competition was Olympic level. Like, the passion he was bringing, the way the crowd was eating it up, the way his technical jumps were just perfect. I think it shows that Ilia Malinin is not playing around, and he is truly ready for the Olympics tomorrow. Like, that is how high he is this season, and how much he has truly kind of become a fully formed skater in my eyes, in terms of showing us his personality, who Ilia Malinin is. I think he can be more refined, but I think he is a star. Like, there's no other way to say it. He has solidified himself as a star within figure skating. And yeah, like, I just feel like he finally found his footing with his brand, and you can tell that both of these programs speak to him, and therefore, because they speak to him, they connect with the crowd and the judges like never before. Ilia, I also have to say, has dealt with the pressure amazingly well. He is delivering on his perceived greatness, because it's not easy to be the next big thing or the rising star or the star of the moment. Like, he has carried the name of Quad God with so much ease and so much grace and so much pride instead of it being a burden. And I can't wait to see just how far Ilia takes the sport. He already has taken it so far in terms of technicality, but I'm trying to see just how much he will innovate the sport and how much he will make it grow, because I see a lot for him in the future, not just internationally but in the USA, because he truly is carrying USA figure skating on his back. And with that, we move on to the women's, which was not as happy-go-lucky as the men, I'll have to say. We start with the one and only, the surprising winner of this competition, the European from Belgium, Luna Hendrickx. You heard me right. Luna Hendrickx walked away here with first place, and I love her shirt program. I love the costume too. Like, did she change her costume? Because I feel like it was some sort of bright pink costume, and now this costume, I love it. And I also love the tan. It's giving the fantasy. It's selling it to me. It's giving Ibiza on ice, and I am eating it up. Her jumps were stable, her choreo hit the beats, and it was extremely entertaining. What more can you ask for? Like, yeah, it's giving show program, but it's also giving a good time, and I will never complain for a program that is a good time rather than this heavy, sad music that is so in vogue in figure skating. But I finally feel a little bit going out of fashion, and I'm happy about that. I also love that the theme of this season seems to be how close can we get to the judges? Like, between Kamila Valieva, Kevin Aymoz, and now Luna Hendrickx, giving her own personal 4 count right in front of the judges, holding the desk. It's just giving, I don't know. It's giving like, it's like they all watched a Disney Channel original movie and saw that when people lean on a table, it means that they're killing it. And so they all incorporate it into their program. Or they think the closer we get to the judges, the more pressure they'll feel to score as well. Either way, it seems to be working because all those people that I just mentioned are being scored great. And then in the Freak program, it was just as enjoyable. All the jumps were stable, and while I still think that she can work on cleaning up her voguing arms, adding the freaking duck walk took me by surprise. It shook me up completely, and the crowd loved it. And I love a move that panders to the crowd. I am a sucker for that. I'm so sorry, but I do. I am. And with a crowd-pleasing program, what do you get? You get a very pleased crowd. And the fact that it was also a clean program on top of that, it turned out to be a judge-pleasing program as well. And she was scored accordingly. But like, what else can you ask for when you get a Madonna x Beyonce Renaissance-inspired program? You already have a leg up in my books. And the judges agreed because Luna walked away with this competition in the bag in first place. And I just think that Luna has had probably one of the best narratives. Like, the Russians being banned was the best thing that could have happened to her career because she slowly just started getting better and better and better. Whenever anyone made a mistake, she was there to snatch it up. She is the only one that took that opportunity by the hands, and now she has all these titles and all these amazing accomplishments to her career. And the more she won, the more confidence she got. And I just think that her career is just exponential. It's just a beautiful upswing, and the way that she reacts to her scores, she's truly the Taylor Swift of figure skating. She's always shocked whenever she scored well, no matter how many times it happens. And it just brings me so much joy. Like, I don't know. I think she is truly one of the only figure skaters that took that opportunity to heart and truly made it work for her. Everybody else has kind of let it slip through her fingertips, I feel like. And she said, nah, the rest of Europe, meaning Russia, is out. I am taking that. I am taking that crown. And she has. And now she can add another gold medal to that jewel. Moving on, we have Isabeau Levito, who had a good short, but there is still something about this program that just doesn't connect with me. I think it's the song mainly, because even though it has a build-up technically, it still feels like it's going nowhere. And the snake theme is just not enough to keep me intrigued throughout the entire program. I always feel myself losing interest towards the end. But let me know if I'm the only one. Let me know if everybody else is eating this up and I'm just not. But I just don't connect with this program. And it might be because I don't think she connects with this program. I think she thinks it's different. I think her coach thinks it's different, but I don't think it speaks to her. It speaks of her. It tells me anything about her. I think it's just a program with a theme. That's all I see. However, regardless of my personal feeling about this program, Isabeau had a great short with stable jumps, well-executed choreography, and you could tell she was just very proud of herself at the end. I also feel her speed has improved a bit, and the feeling of the hometown audience behind her, I think, gave Isabeau more confidence, and she was way more expressive than we've ever seen her before throughout this program itself. She was very happy, and I just honestly wish I liked the program better. That's all I can say. And here's the crazy thing, because you're like, then why didn't Isabeau end up in first place? Did she have a shitty free? No, she actually had a great free skate. And although it does feel like we've seen this program for 2 seasons now, because it is basically the same thing we've seen from her before with the balletic arms and the long sleeve costume and even the same kind of color theme, it does play to Isabeau's strengths. It highlights the things that she does good, and it just puts a spotlight on her in the best way. And this, I believe, actually is the first clean skate she has delivered of this free program this season. And you could just see Isabeau's joyous approval at the end of the program is a very stark contrast to when she had that fall. And again, the hometown crowd, I do believe, gave her the energy and the confidence to just finish strong. And the audience loved it so much that she also got a standing ovation. However, because she was in first during the short, and the fact that after her went Luna Hendrickx and she had also an amazing performance, it just didn't work out for her, and she ended up in second place, but not by much. So I'm sure it was a disappointment for her because it was Skate America and she is the American skater. But I don't think she would feel too bad about the fact that she ended up in second place because it wasn't due to a mistake. It was just the way that the judges were scoring them. And that's understandable. Like, that happens every once in a while. But a clean performance for both the free and the short is a win for me. So I think Isabeau should be just as proud. But it would have been nice to have a American winner in the ladies just as much as in the men's. And seeing both Isabeau and Ilia rise together would have been a great narrative for the US media, which is my main goal, as always, getting the US media interested in skating. Literally the whole purpose of this freaking channel. Well, the purpose is more for you to have someone to talk to, since I don't have anyone to talk to about figure skating. But regardless of that, I think Isabeau had a great performance, and I hope the second place doesn't bum her too much because, again, it was not her fault. Then we move on to the second love of my life, Amber Glenn, who had possibly the most heartbreaking story of this entire competition. She had such an amazing short program that she actually ended up in second overall, even in front of Isabeau. Not to mention the short program went great. great. It went virtually perfect. I loved her costume, which was sexy but edgy. The studs, the black, the cutouts in the edge. Oh my god. The song was high energy. It was entertaining. She landed all the jumps. Plus, she nailed all the choreography. The choreography was also great and entertaining when she did like off with her head, like breaking her neck. I almost lost my neck. I almost lost my own head. I was screaming. I was having the time of my life. The audience and the judges were feeling it as well. Amber was ecstatic. All of us were, because it looked like Amber was finally doing a Kevin Aymoz and finding her stability, finding her confidence, finally getting to that podium with 2 clean skates. And then came the free program. She looked beautiful. Hair was flowing. The music starts and she lands the most beautiful triple axel you've ever seen. The crowd goes wild. We believe in her. She believes in her. We're all thinking that we're finally seeing it happen. Amber is going to be on the podium and she has a really good chance of being in first place. The audience wants it. The judges are ready to give it to her. And then she has a bobble. Then she has a fall. And then another. And as soon as I saw that, I don't know what changed in the room, but the spell was broken. It just went downhill from there. Amber started falling, being more slow, and we just all saw it slip away right in front of our very eyes. And Amber ended up in 5th place, meaning that she would have definitely been on the podium if she had a clean skate. It might have even been in 1st place. Like, I'm not kidding. Like, the judges were ready to give it to her. The crowd wanted her in it. It was Skate America. The stars were aligned. And then the moment there was one mistake, it just unraveled out of control. And that's what we were talking about. The mental strength is so important because this always seems to happen to Amber, and I just don't understand why, because she has it. She landed the most beautiful triple axel I've ever seen, and it just walked, ran, slipped away from her. I don't know what happened, but after, it was like the second half, we lost it in the second half. And so the classic story of Amber Glenn continues. So close, yet so far. And you could tell she was just heartbroken. Crowd was heartbroken. The commentator was heartbroken. I was heartbroken. And I just really hope that this doesn't ruin her confidence in herself, because she can do it. I know she can. I think she just needs more time. But alas, the cycle continues. Then we had our dark horse of the competition, Nina Petrokina from Estonia. She had a good short program, although I didn't love her black dress with black gloves, but it does match the theme of the music she was using. And then her free program, her costume was giving me 80s, but in like a good way. Like, it wasn't like a diss. Like, I was kind of liking the 80s feel. The suede and the gold. It was giving gaudy, but like intentional gaudy. And although I didn't connect with her free program either, she did once again deliver a very good, technically clean performance. And her scores reflected that. And she was just our surprise bronze medalist. Like, it just, like, I wasn't even paying attention, and then I was like, wait, she's in 3rd? Like, maybe I should have been paying attention. And now I just gotta keep my eye on Nina, because she proved that if any of these favorites for the podium mess up at all, she's right there to scoop their medals up and take. And that's how Luna Hendrickx began. So now I'm gonna see and keep an eye on Nina and see if she follows the Luna Hendrickx footsteps. And who knows, maybe she might have a season to remember. This might be the beginning of her upswing. Another new name from this competition was Hana Yoshida from Japan. When it comes to Japanese skaters, my expectations are always high because of their amazing depth of skaters. And Hana, I think she did great for her first major competition, at least the one that I've seen this season. And I think her presentation was good, as it always is Japanese skaters. And so were her skating skills. But where she did struggle a bit were her technical skills, the jumps, specifically with a triple axel, which is understandable because it is a triple axel. But because she kind of cleaned it up afterwards, she had a mostly clean program after the first few mess ups. She pulled it together and she walked away with 4th place. And I do think that 4th place came from other people's mistakes as well. Like, if everybody had a clean program, I don't know if she would have ranked as high. But I still think it's a great achievement, because even though she also had a little missteps, she also placed high. And now it's a name that I will remember. But I do think that she needs to work on it, because if everybody else had a clean program, I don't know if she would have been a contender or so close to the podium. Honorable mentions at this competition, we had Mana Kawabe from Japan. And she looked great, but she made the mistake of also choosing Bolero for her free program, because although I think I like Bolero now, it turns out I only like Kevin Amos's rendition. Because as soon as I heard that music, it triggered something in me. It brought it back. And because she chose Bolero, the gods punished her in 8th place. No, I'm kidding. She just didn't have a good performance. And also here was the Korean Young Yu, who truly did not have a good competition, ended up in 11th place. However, I hope we see them more, because I recognize them, I follow their careers, and just I really hope that they are more in the mix for the podium at the next competitions they're at, because right now, not a great start. And yeah, that was Skate America. It was a competition which was ironically great, not for Americans, but Europeans, with 2 European champions, Luna Hendrickx for the ladies and Kevin Aymoz as a champion of my heart. Although, of course, the true champion for the men's was American Ilia Malinin, who has truly become a figure skating main superstar. Like, I don't know how else to say it. He is no longer the next big thing or the rising star. He is just here. This season, specifically with these programs, Ilia Malinin, the skater, has arrived. He has showed the world that he is here to stay as a figure skating superstar, and he is here to grow the sport, just how Yuzuru Hanyu and Nathan Chen did before him. And I also hope that Isabeau Levito can reach similar heights so that the USA finally gets invested in figure skating if they have not only a male superstar, but a female star. I need that in my life. Additionally, I am sincerely sending all of my love and manifesting only good things for Amber Glenn. I genuinely hope that she's not beating herself up, and this one misstep literally was just, like, she had a great competition. It was just half of the second program. That was all she messed up, but it was enough for her to just beat herself about it. And I really hope that this doesn't, in her mind, ruin all the hard work that you can tell she has been doing. Because the triple axel is there. She can land it. She did it here. And therefore, I know that everything else in that program is doable. It's just about time and practice. And not that she's not practicing enough, but it's also about luck and opportunity, and this was just not her competition. I really do hope that this doesn't make her doubt herself, because she is in the best shape of her life. She is training hard, and if she just has another opportunity, I know she can do it. She is on the right path. That's what I need her to know. That's what I need her here, and I'm just manifesting positive thoughts and sending her all my love, because once the stars align for Amber Glenn, she will be a force to be reckoned with. And yeah, that was Skate America. We had heartbreaks, we had jump scares, and we had happy moments. We had superstars be born, and I had a great time. I don't know about you. Let me know what you guys thought. What were your favorite programs, your favorite costume, your favorite moments, anything else I didn't mention? Put it down in the comments below, and I will talk to you guys later. Bye bye.